Thank you for the wonderful introduction, Jim. But okay, Jim started with the outsider's view of the things and what the events. I want to go a little bit back to the time when, or to the time before the revolution. I mean, these are the images, not just two. I mean, there could have been many of my country before the revolution. You can see the young people up there. The socialist government always prided itself in having bright future for their children and being really the country that takes care of children as the future generation. The other image, this is a photograph that Jim took shortly after he arrived, also is very typical of the communist countries or socialist countries. We never saw ourselves as a communist country, even though you probably saw us as a part of the evil communist empire. We saw you as a part of the evil Western Empire, anyway. So that was the Cold War time. But this is what we can still see probably in the Asian communist countries, in China, in other, no, I don't think so much in Vietnam anymore. This big posters, billboards, or signs. This one is "We serve our socialist, the socialist country." And they were everywhere, and they were supposed to represent the will of the people, the opinion of the people to the outside world, which was of course not true. And our government very much showed us on the 17th of November 1989 what they thought about the future of their children. Because when you look at it, I wanted that picture because it somehow represents the atmosphere in the Czech Republic before the revolution. Nobody believed, even in October 1989, that Czechoslovakia can do something similar to what Poland did the year before, was doing for the whole year, what Hungary was doing, because Hungary, I think it was in September already of the same year, has opened their borders with Austria. The Berlin Wall has fallen at the beginning of November. Poland has already started negotiation with the communist government about the changing of the rule. Nothing was happening in Czechoslovakia. People were getting frustrated, young people were getting frustrated. It seemed like the whole world, the whole Central Europe will go the different direction, and we will be left behind, still having the signs, still having the peaceful socialism waiting for the communist miracle to happen. And then there came the 17th November. It was not meant as a demonstration at all. It was a peaceful manifestation on the anniversary of actually the 17th of November in Czechoslovakia and Czech Republic is an International Students' Day to commemorate the killing of a Czech student in 1939 by Nazis during during the demonstration against the occupation. So this was just the students who wanted to express their feelings about the changes in Europe and who wanted to very peacefully and in a sense a very joyful atmosphere tell the government that they would like more freedom, that they would like a change. There was not confrontation at all. And the peaceful atmosphere somehow is pretty much captured in this image, at least on the side of the students. You can see that they were praying, they were sitting on the ground, because what happened during the demonstration was that they were trying to make it to the Wenceslas Square. Many of you probably know that the Wenceslas Square is the center of Prague, the very historical and very important place in Czech Republic. And they were forbidden to get there. The police has blocked the way. But what they did eventually, they captured a whole bunch of students and they closed the National Avenue, that's probably the closest translation of the name of the street leading to the Wenceslas Square, on both sides, trapping the students in the middle between the police on one side of the street and the other side of the street, and began to push towards them until they were kind of crashed. And that was the moment when the atmosphere, cheerful and joyous at the beginning, radically changed. When we're facing the police like that. Okay, I'm seeing in the window, police like that. You kind of probably realized that this is that something serious is going to happen. So this is what the students did. I mean, they were chanting, "We have bare hands. We just want human rights. We don't want anything but breathe freely." But the police, of course, decided to crack down on the demonstration very violently. It was surprising. It was shocking. It was completely unexpected. Because, as I said, there was no confrontation intended by the demonstration, but that happened. We didn't know anything about that. It was Friday, 17th of November. Some of the people would go to Prague to join the sort of a happening that we were expecting to happen in Prague, and came back Saturday early morning, petrified, horrified, shocked at what our government, who so much praised the future of the youth and so much wanted to prepare a bright future for the youth, has done to the students. So we were, as Jim said, and we saw the pictures, we were trying to figure out what to do. We were completely unprepared. We didn't have any history of confrontation with the government. We didn't know how to stand up to the government that starts beating people. So we elected the strike leaders. We decided to strike. That was the first way of anger and despair. And elected the strike leaders. As you said, I was one of those. Electing the strike leaders meant, you know, whoever speaks first gets to the front and say, okay, you are the leader because, you know, you were speaking. And because I was always a chatterbox, then I became a strike leader. Where's John? So this is what happened, and I did not realize. You know, we saw that picture of me. That was like 5 minutes before I was sitting in the crowd of other students, and then I just said something, 2 or 3 sentences. We should do something, and up there I am. And that, in a sense, changed my life forever, because due to that, being in the strike committee, I got in touch with Jim. We befriended Jim. We had a rather difficult beginning, but you know, after a while, we really got to like each other. I got to like him. I don't know still about it. And but I was invited to participate in the exchange program. I was one of the first 2 Czech students coming to Cedar Rapids in 1990, so it was a big change for me. And now, 20 years later, I'm here again. I'm teaching literature, American literature. So that was the time, and this is, you know, the picture you see here is from already that really meeting when we were all of a sudden facing the issues of how to lead the strike. You know, we were on Friday. We were regular students going to classes, not really looking forward to Monday when there were new classes about to start to begin. And then on Monday, Tuesday, we were leading a strike. We decided to have an occupational strike, which meant we occupied the whole university building. That's another thing unthought of before. But once the things started going, and it was rolling, and we had those meetings and had to decide what to do, how to feed the students, because we occupied the whole building. The cafeteria was not working. We had to organize checkpoints so that we don't have provocations coming, because we were afraid of STB. And there was one thing that you didn't mention. There was another aggravation in Olomouc. We had a very strong and very big Russian military headquarters in Olomouc, one of the biggest in the country. So we not only had the police, we also had the Russians behind our backs, which was not the case in Prague, because, you know, for political reasons, they were smart enough not to put the Russians in Prague, so that you know, they would not be up front all the time. They had them in Olomouc and other 2 cities. So we were quite afraid, and when Jim was talking about the march, that was the time when people would come in and say, although we have inside information that the police is really getting ready for you, together with the Russians and everybody else, and they are really going to do something even harsher than they did in Prague. And there we are, people who ought to decide about the march that might end up in a massacre. So that was really difficult, and you can see the tension maybe on the faces of my colleagues at that time.